All right, how's that global warming doing for you all? Driving in the great blizzard of 2019, heading home. Not sure if I missed my turn or not. I know I missed one turn before, but I caught it. And now, I'm used to things going a lot faster. I think this is the turn coming up here. I need new windshield wipers also, so that's doesn't help matters either. So anyway, here I am driving, and I figured it'll be a schus for a shmira to talk in Torah while we drive. We're coming now to Parshas Mishpatim, which is the last parsha of Shovavim. And then we enter into the world of Tat, which is only in a year like this, a leap year, that we have Shovavim Tat. The original Tekuna of Shovavim, the earliest records we have of Shovavim, are only when it's Shovavim Tat, only when it's a leap year. It was only later that we have any record that we know of, that meaning that we have record. Obviously, records are only things that we know of. That to observe Shovavim every year, but the regular years only Shovavim, and a year like this, a leap year, Shovavim Tat. Someone sent me an email this morning, a text this morning, Happy Shovavim, showing from yesterday's Chok. The Chedah says of how Simcha is so crucial, that depression is so damaging, and so joy is so crucial in this season of Shovavim. I've mentioned many times before, I remember the Kotzker Rebbe, Zol Gesund Sein. He came to Queens. I encountered him a number of times before, because a lot of my friends at Or Sameach and other places were Hasidim of his, and are Hasidim of his, and he's a very special person, Kotzker Rebbe. I like him a lot, even if he's a little bit more modern. There's a lot. He's got a lot to do. He's a very chashuva Rebbe, and he's a real tzaddik. So anyway, he said to us in Queens like this. He said when he visited Queens, I'd seen him in Ashdod. Visited him once, I remember, in Borough Park also. So in Queens, he said to us, everybody knows about Elul, Shani Yom Kippur, Sersi Mei Tshuva, but how many people know about Shovavim? Now it seems like everybody knows about Shovavim too, but the world has changed. I was listening to Moshe Weinberger, my Rebbe from high school. He should be well. He tells a story. He met the Kotzker Rebbe. He happened to be in Ashdod for something, and so he heard there's a tzaddik Kotzker Rebbe. He wanted to go meet him, and he goes into Kotzker Rebbe, and he said, Slicha, ha-Yiddish shali lo kol kach tov. If you don't know Hebrew, he said, pardon me, my Yiddish isn't so good. So he wanted to know if it's not offensive to the Rebbe to speak in Hebrew. And the Kotzker Rebbe seems to be a proponent of his Hasidim speaking Hebrew, which is a little strange to me. But I know that's a lot of people are like that, and I don't forgive them that, I mean, yesterday the Ger Rebbe came to Kiryas Yol, to Satmar Rebbe's Sheva Bruchas, So worlds can collide, and we can have respect for each other, even if things are a little bit out of the ordinary from what we're used to. Things don't have to be, always the way we want them to be. I'm sorry, those windshield wipers are so noisy. I don't know how much do I need them, how much I don't need them. That's the question. Let's, if it builds up a little bit more moisture, then it won't be so noisy. So he said, Shovavim, I mean, this was, whatever it was, 12, 13, 14 years ago, maybe more, 15, 16 years ago, Kotzker Rebbe came to Queens, and he said like that, that Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, everybody knows about. Shovavim, not everybody knows about. He said it's like a secret sale. Like you could think about, Shovavim. It's like, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. It's like, what do they call that? Black Friday. Where, better slow down. Oh no. That was a miracle. So I was close to spinning out, and that was the whole thing. The fact that we're even driving in cars, come on, that's a miracle, I saw this video on YouTube where it was a Hindu guru. He said, people, they get upset because they're stuck in traffic. They're driving their dream machine. What's the big deal? You're spending 2 more minutes in your dream machine. You should be happy. It's a nice, yesh chochma bagoyim tamen. If there's wisdom among the nations, you should believe it. And that's a wise teaching, but it's the same teaching we would say, And the thing is, it shouldn't even. Maybe the answer though is that the dream machine. That's not what brings you joy. I remember some years ago I was stuck in traffic and I turned on my phone and was learning Mishnayos, and I felt such a feeling of peace, and that comes from Torah. That comes from spirituality. That being involved in a religious devotion like that, it brings peace. That usually you'd be so annoyed you're stuck in traffic like this, or a night like this when you're driving in the snow and you can only go 35 miles an hour when you usually go 55 here. But it's okay. Why? Because we're learning Torah together, and this Torah will go out to dozens of people all around the world. It's a gewaltige Zach. So, anyway, like I was saying, Kotzker Rebbe soll gesund sein. He said, you can compare Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur to like Black Friday, where people are like, they're trying to get this sale, and they're like beating each other up and like stepping on each other because it's so crowded, and they're trying to get the good deal, and then, there was an episode of The Simpsons this season about that, with old Gil and Marge helping out old Gil Gunderson. But you remember there was a Seinfeld episode where they they told Elaine about a secret sale. Like, tomorrow there's going to be an unadvertised sale. She's like, well, I didn't hear about it. She's like, of course not. It's an unadvertised sale. And sometimes that unadvertised sale you can accomplish more, and you don't have people like rushing the door, beating each other up for the sale, right? And that's what Shovavim is like, The world doesn't know about Shovavim. Baruch Hashem, more and more people in the Orthodox world know about. Like Rabbi Weinberger said, I think he was speaking to a yeshiva where he himself had learned, and he said it was a year ago, he asked the boys in the yeshiva in Yerushalayim, I think somewhere, something like that, what season it was, and they all knew it was Shovavim, and he said, if you would have asked me, when I was your age, I wouldn't know that. I would know, the word Shovavim from Tanakh, but like, Shuvabanim Shovavim, but I never heard of this whole thing. Now everybody knows about it, The thing is, Sof Kol Sof, I don't think most Reform and Conservative don't know. Even the Conservative, they're getting into Hasidus now, they're very into Hasidic Sfarim. It's an interesting world that we live in. It was always like that, A.J. Heschel was a Hasidic Rebbe, for the conservative Jews. So, he was a Rebbe Sheinikel. And he was Taka Rebbe, So, just not for us, but for them, he was a Rebbe, this interesting thing today. Was my father passed away last week, and I was thinking with my father so much about him. It reminded me like of the Kotzker. And my father was of Polish ancestry from his father's side. From his mother's side was Italian ancestry. And the Kotzker, everything was truth. He didn't have time. He didn't have patience for anything that was pretentious or anything, And that's how my dad was. He didn't have time for any nonsense, He cared about what was real, and that was what was very special about him. And it was this Indian like the Kotzker, and then it's like I was thinking a lot today about the Kotzker, and I was looking up things and just looking on the map. Where is Kotzk? Where is that compared to maybe where I don't really know where my family was from in Poland that much, but my father's family, like I know more the yichus from my mother's family, who from her father we could trace back to Krulerov, to Chengarov, to the Chavas Yor, and to the Maharal, and to Shlomo Kodesh, and to Levi Yerushalmi, and other Shovavim, and and I feel a big kesher, very special kesher to the Chavas Yor, especially to his miras and to his techinas that he published from his father and everything. And every Shabbos we try, bli neder, at least when we're home, and even sometimes when we're not, to sing the miras from the Chavas Yor, that's printed in the back of the Chavas Yor. And the Shai's Tshuva's Chavas Yor, he has a tshuva. The last tshuva in the Chavas Yor is about singing yartzeit and things, and then after that he prints there all the zmiras and techinas and things that his father wrote, some that he wrote, some that his zayda wrote. So also my zaydas, all of the the Makor Chaim. I really would like to get a copy of the Makor Chaim. It's kind of hard to get by. I found bits and pieces of it online. It's hard to get, but the Kotzker Chaim is very interesting to me. I mean, especially you think of the Yekka as the Yekka, but like this was before there was it was like that. It was more like it's like the spirituality is like a Hasidic spirituality, and by these Gedolim, and it was. And it was, it was before the Baal Shem Kodesh. It was around that time, and such a warmth and such a, and they were Yardei Chain, and they were, you read online about the Chavas Yor, and it said, he was against people learning Kabbalah, and you learn the tshuva that they cite on that, and they don't understand what he's saying. At the end he says, don't learn Kabbalah, just learn Zohar. And so many people today, all they think Kabbalah is Zohar, And he said, learn Zohar. Every Jew should learn Zohar. That's what the Chavas Yor said. But big, the Sifrei Ariya Kodesh, those are things that maybe, it's interesting. My mother said to me, maybe when you're 40, I'll buy you Sifrei Kabbalah. My mother said she was thinking about that, and I was like, I've been learning Sifrei Kabbalah all my life. I still don't understand them, but so maybe when I'm 40 and Ben Arboim Labina, maybe I'll understand something. But maybe I should have taken her up on it, because I would like to get the Mosek Midvash. I remember the Mosek Midvash. I used to eat at his table every other Shabbos in Yerushalayim. Rev Daniel Frisch, Zeichet Tzaddik Kodesh L'Vrach, was a holy man. Was a Malach Elokim. His feet didn't touch the ground. He was like floating around. He was Mamash Malach, Rev Daniel, and an otherworldly person, a heilige mensch. And I used to eat there every other Shabbos with some of my friends. It was always so special. I still remember him singing Kaliato, and he had a sense of humor, and so I miss him. He was nifter very young. He was I don't know, 68, 69, 70, 71. I've heard different ages between 68 and 72. He was but he wasn't. He looked like he was like 200 years old, but he they say like the day he was nifter, he was like, all right, I gotta get ready. Give me a cup of water, so I can make a bracha. Like he knew it. He knew all day that was it. I wonder what my dad knew. He wasn't that much younger. He was 64. A young man. He didn't look like he was 200 like Reb Daniel did. He looked maybe like he was 70. But the past few years, But like I was talking at the Kotzker, and so then when I realized the yartzeit the Kotzker was today, not now, it was today. So then I looked at HebrewBooks.org, Emes Famuna, which is a collection of Vertlach from Kotzker, and there were two things that really caught my attention. They were right next to each other. It was Yud Beis and Yud Gimel, 12 and 13, and Emes Famuna. There was a lot there, and a lot of it I heard, a lot of it I didn't hear. But when he said in Pirkei Avos, says Yavish Hachas Shel Shovavim Ma'asim Tovim B'Olam Hazeh Mikol Chayolam Habo. It's better 1 hour of Tshuva and Ma'asim Tovim in this world than the whole Chayolam Ha, the whole life in the world to come. And he said, what's the Shoachas? He said that's Shalosh Shudas, Sudas Shlishas, the third meal Shabbos after Mincha. He said She'oz Oser Likboa Medrash V'Limud. He said you can't sit and learn Gemara at that time. You have to be focusing on doing tshuva. Obviously people learning Torah. All the Rebbes say Torah by Shalosh Shudas. But although there's some Rebbes don't. Skver Rebbe doesn't say Shalosh Shudas Torah. He says Torah by the Tish Friday night, but not Shalosh Shudas, Shaloshidas. But I guess I don't know if that's all throughout Chernobyl. I don't know. Rachmas Drifk, do they say Shaloshidas Torah? I've been there Friday night, but I don't ever remember being Rachmas Drifk with Shaloshidas. I remember the old Rachmas Drifker from Yerushalayim. I was there Shvishal Pesach, I think, one time. I got the Bizayayam. They gave us matzah, and they put it in plastic bags. They put it in the Rebbe's hand, and then handed it to us. Holy stuff. It's holy stuff. I'm not making fun. It was a special experience. I remember that in Yerushalayim. I remember Shabbos Chanukah by Namshin over once. It was Shalosh Shudas time, and we're like, "Where's the Rebbe?" Because he doesn't dress like a Rebbe, And when we saw he's making Friday night Kiddush, we knew, because I never had seen pictures of Namshin over, or if I had, I didn't really know who he was. And then when we saw he's making Kiddush Friday night, and it was Shalosh Shudas time, we knew it was Namshin over. Imagine he didn't eat the whole Shabbos, and he everyone he gave l'chaim. They gave little cups of grape juice to each person. He said l'chaim toivim ileshulam. Everybody, incredible, otherworldly. So. So the Kotzker said that's the time. Shalosh Shudas is the Shoacha Shel shel tshuva masim tovim. That's what it says. Chadi hasht b'hayshata. You should rejoice at this hour, at this moment, this time, because shalashudas is greater, Kotzker says, than the whole Olam Haba. I remember I have a friend, I call him which Rebbe? I'm trying to remember. The Stratner Rebbe from New Hyde Park, Reb David Gottesman. And he's a Rebbe Sheinikel. And he doesn't wear a hat, doesn't have a beard, but that doesn't matter. He's a big Rebbe Sheneshama, and he would talk always about the miles of shalashudas. He said, you gotta go out and get all the guys from the biker gangs to go sit down and eat hot peppers by shalashudas and sing smiras. He always would make a shalashudas from David, is always on site. So I should call him, let him know what happened. So anyway, as a tzaddik nister, people don't know David, but I know him. I know him. I think I know him. Maybe I don't really know him either. But I think I know a little bit. David, big tzaddik. A behalten, a tzaddik nister. Alright, let's not spin out. We're almost home. We're already in 17b. We're in the home stretch. We're already in the town of Bethel, I believe, right? Isn't this the new Yazker's farm right here? Not the old Yazker's farm. So anyway, yeah. He's a teacher in the New York City public schools. The big schus what David has. So anyway, the other Torah I saw from the Kotzker that really shook me up. I mean, mamish shook me up. He said that it says mitztayir pater min sukkah. So the whole Indian of the sukkah is bittul. I remember sitting in the sukkah with Reb David Gottesman and with a few other Yidden with her, what's his name? A Yid is a shtikla ger chassid with a bekasher, a clean-shaven guy with a bekasher from Flatbush. What was that guy's name? I don't remember his name now. Fine person, a doctor. He was there in New Hyde Park for a number of years. And I don't remember him now. Avrami something or other. I don't remember now. So anyway, Zechroinus of New Hyde Park. The Avrami Tau? Is that his name? I think so. So, and he was talking about bittul. He was talking about how a cigarette teaches us bittul. You get on fire for Hasidus, and and then you disappear with the fire of God. You move out to yourself before the burn shalom. The Kotzker said. That it's bittul. He said the sukkah is the inyan of bittul. You mevatel yourself before the burn shalom. You mevatel all the chitzonius, all the gashmius. You just go out in the sukkah. The other night I was watching an old rerun of Home Improvement, and Wilson was building a sukkah. It's like a whole thing. It was a really nice sukkah also. So I didn't know Wilson was Jewish, but maybe he just wanted to build a sukkah. There are people like that. So I remember Rabbi Weinberger is also good since then. He said when he was once on a plane going out to California, something to speak somewhere, and the guy who played Al, Richard Karn, was on the plane. He was sitting next to him, and Richard Karn turned to him and said, "Oh, hello, I'm Richard Karn." And he said, "Oh, well, hello, I'm Moshe Weinberger. Should I know you?" He said, "Well, yeah, I'm Al on Home Improvement." He's like, "I don't know, I don't watch TV, you know." So anyway, he said he was very nice and very upset about the immorality of Hollywood, and so they had a wonderful conversation. He told me a whole funny story, you know, interesting story. And he said, you know, you should come visit him when next time he's in Hollywood. I don't know if he ever did, but so the Kotzker said the whole Inyan of the sukkah is bittul. He said that's why in Mitzayir Potem in a sukkah. If somebody experiences pain being in the sukkah, it's too cold, it's too hot, it's raining, he's potter from the sukkah. Why? Because the Kotzker said if you really had bittul, if you really nullified yourself before God, you wouldn't feel any pain. And the only reason why you're feeling pain is because you're not actually fulfilling the mitzvah of the sukkah. You don't really feel what the sukkah is all about, and so therefore you have no shaykhs to the sukkah. You have no connection to the sukkah. Oh, can we even turn here? Is this road even passable? Let's try it. Let's see. If we get stuck, we get stuck. Or will we turn around? I don't know. Let's see what's going on. It's beautiful. Look at the snow coming down. You can't see it on the camera. It looks. When I was a kid, I used to think, you know, watching the snow, and when you're driving, it's like the stars on Star Wars. You know, when they show like out the windshield on Star Wars. You know, the stars. That's what I used to think. It looks something like that. You know, probably it really doesn't look like that when you're in a spaceship, but like that's, you know. So anyway, that's he said you have no shaykhs to the sukkah if you feel pain, if you're not totally nullified before God, so you have no connection to the sukkah. So get out of this. What are you wasting your time there? You know. Maybe come back when you have a little bit. That's what Kotzker said. That's wow. Said something about, I gotta look at it. I was looking on, that was an Emes from Luna, but like there was some good quotes on, I want to maybe say something like the Kotzker said that death is just like going from one room to the next. Maybe I might want to say that at the funeral on Thursday. So here I am, 28 minutes, been speaking. I told my wife I'll see her in 2 hours. It's an hour and a half, so that's pretty good. I'm almost home. Excuse me. The idea, Wilson, there we go. Building the sukkah on Home Improvement. You don't see his face. I remember even the last episode, like he held something up in front of his face or something. I don't know when they all went out to make their last bow. I don't know. I haven't watched Home Improvement in decades. You know, now it's like now on the Roku they have Locast where you can like watch local TV channels. There's a channel Laugh, L-A-F-F, and I just been watching Home Improvement. Almost every night we watch Home Improvement. My son loves it. I don't know. Like, it's mostly because he likes it, you know. So, I used to watch it when I was a kid. So anyway, the idea I really wanted to bring up about Shovavim Tat and Mishpatim and this and Adar Sheni is Shabbos Mevarch and Adar Sheni, Adar Rishon, Adar Sheni. It's coming up to Shabbos Mevarch. The Indian of the Iber Yor. I heard Rabbi Weinberger talking about this on one of the, and that's the whole Indian of Shovavim, is the yichud between the sun and the moon. And it's interesting because we have two of our cousins, Esav and Ishmael. Our cousins, the Ishmaelites, the Muslims, they have a totally lunar calendar. And our cousins from Esau, Christians, meaning from the Roman Church and from the churches that grew out of the Roman Church. And I guess the Eastern Church we wouldn't call Esau, but they still, even the Eastern churches recognize Rome as first among equals, so they all have a shaykhis to Edom, to Esau, to Esav. But they use a different calendar. But even in America, they start to use the same calendar. But even their calendar is also a solar calendar. So the Muslims have a purely lunar calendar. The Christians have a purely solar calendar for their liturgical calendar. And our liturgical calendar is the meeting point between the two. Where we have our months go by the lunar calendar. Our months begin and end the same time the Muslims begin and end their months. But then every time we have a leap year, they lose a month, right? So like next year, like this past year, Ramadan was like, what was it, Sivan? Or Tammuz? I don't know. And then next year it's going to be, what's it going to be? A month earlier? I guess it was Sivan, now it'll be ER. So ER, we have Bahab. We could break our fast together for Bahab. Or Hey-ER. Even better. But I don't know if this year Bahab is Hey-ER. Sometimes that happens. I was reading Tehillah David, the Tires from Reb David Lifshitz, Saval Karov, which was Rabbi Weinberger's Rebbe. And just because, I got lost a little bit on the internet. I found this on Hebrew books, so I was looking at his Torahs. He said something beautiful about how the whole Indian of the Beis HaMikdash was related to Mesiras Nefesh, and then he had Tzlach and Torahs with Mesiras Nefesh, and Maimed Har Sinai was Mesiras Nefesh. He said that Rashi brings why was the chosen Har Maria to be the Mokum HaMikdash, because that's where it was the Akedah. Again, we saw something with the Kotzker about the Akedah. He said that it was harder for Avram Avinu to take Yitzchak down from the altar by the Akedah than to put him up on the altar, and when he from the Mizbeach, and he said that's what says Atu Yadati Ki Orli Kamata, that Bernei Shalom said to Avram Avinu. He said, now God said to Abraham, now I know that you fear God, that you were able to take your son down from that altar. Think about that. That's some deep stuff there. And so that's what's going on now, that we have this leap year. We're unifying the sun and the moon. We're unifying the sun and the moon. You know what that means? Think about that. And that's what Shovavim is all about. It's the world of Leah and Rachel, sun and the moon, the world of Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. You know, David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim. That we're making sure our holidays stay in the same place, and you know, Shovavim. Powerful stuff. So, thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Baruch Hashem, we made it home in one piece. Maybe bench Goimel. Have to think about what's going on tomorrow. maybe I'll work a late shift tomorrow. So thank you, friends. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. And and we'll see you all later. All right. You know, maybe next time I'll actually see you. So turn the light on. Nothing to see, really. Right? How you doing? I don't know. All right. God bless. Take care.